For generations, Africa was told a lie, that it could not build, could not invent, and could not rise on its own. Colonial powers shaped the narrative that Africa's destiny was to remain weak, dependent, and broken. Roads across the continent became symbols of this oppression, dusty, cracked, and neglected paths that reflected poverty rather than progress. But in the heart of Burkina Faso, something extraordinary has happened. Africa's first glass roads now shine beneath the sun, and they are far more than infrastructure. They are a declaration of freedom. When President Ibrahim Traoré stood before his people and announced the completion of these shining roads, the world gasped. The West mocked the idea at first, dismissing it as impossible for a poor African nation. But Traoré knew exactly what he was doing. These roads were not built simply to connect one city to another. They were designed as monuments of pride, strength, and innovation. They are the living proof that Africa can build, Africa can invent, and Africa can rise without bowing to foreign masters. Each piece of glass on these roads carries the spirit of defiance. When sunlight strikes them, it does more than brighten the ground, it blinds the eyes of the oppressors who once claimed Africa would always remain in chains. For the people of Burkina Faso, walking on these roads is more than travel. Every step is a step on colonial history itself, crushing centuries of exploitation underfoot. The significance of this achievement stretches far beyond Burkina Faso's borders. For centuries, the colonizers built roads and railways not to connect Africans, but to strip Africa of its wealth, its gold, its uranium, its fertile land. They were roads of extraction, not empowerment. But now, for the first time, a road has been built as a symbol of sovereignty. It does not lead outward toward exploitation. It leads inward, binding people, villages, and cities together in unity and strength. The shining glass roads are also a mirror for the entire continent. They reflect the courage of a people who refuse to remain silent and weak. They reflect the determination of a leader who dared to dream. And above all, they reflect the dignity of a nation that has chosen independence over dependency. The world can no longer deny what is happening. Africa's first glass roads shine in Burkina Faso, and they are not just glass. They are fire, they are light, they are freedom materialized into solid form. They declare to all who look upon them, the age of slavery is dead, the age of sovereignty has begun. The glass roads of Burkina Faso are not simply a marvel of engineering. They are a statement carved into the earth, a rejection of centuries of humiliation, and a living symbol of liberation. For generations, Africans were told that they were destined to remain on dirt and broken paths, while the rest of the world advanced on smooth highways of progress. These roads were not just physical, they were psychological chains, reminders of who was meant to dominate and who was meant to obey. But today, Burkina Faso has shattered that narrative. The shining glass roads are mirrors that reflect not just sunlight, but the courage and resilience of a people who refuse to remain trapped in the past. Each transparent slab laid upon the soil carries the weight of history, but also the promise of tomorrow. When the sun strikes these roads, it is not only light that shines, but the undeniable truth that Africa is capable of creating wonders on its own terms. These roads are monuments of dignity. They whisper to every passerby, we are no longer prisoners of history, we are builders of destiny. The colonial powers once built railways across Africa, but not for Africans. They built them to extract, to plunder, to steal. The purpose of those roads was to carry away Africa's wealth while leaving behind emptiness. But the glass roads of Burkina Faso reverse that logic. They are not built to take, but to give. They connect villages, unite provinces, and bind the nation together. They are not scars of exploitation, but veins of light carrying life. Every step upon them is a step on the chains of colonialism. Every beam of sunlight reflected from them blinds the eyes of those who once believed Africa would forever crawl. And every journey made on these shining paths is proof that the spirit of independence is alive and unbreakable. Burkina Faso's achievement is not just technological, it is symbolic. It is proof that progress does not need to be imported, that development does not have to come wrapped in the conditions of loans and debts. The roads were built by Burkinabe hands, with Burkinabe minds, for Burkinabe people. They prove that Africa is not weak, not dependent, not incapable, but strong, creative, and unstoppable when united by vision. The message is clear: the era of humiliation is finished. The glass roads do not just carry cars and footsteps. They carry pride, sovereignty, and the roar of a continent awakening from its imposed silence. These glass roads are more than national infrastructure, they are continental invitations. From Ouagadougou to Bobo-Dioulasso, from the Sahel's dry stretches to the southern forests, they stretch across Burkina Faso like arteries of light. But their glow does not stop at the borders. They call out to Africa itself, whispering to Mali, Niger, Ghana, Senegal, Congo, and beyond: walk with us, rise with us, unite with us. For too long, Africa has been divided into fragments, borders drawn by foreign hands, designed to weaken rather than strengthen. Each nation fenced in, each economy isolated, each people convinced that they are too small to stand on their own. But these roads erase those invisible walls. They connect not just cities but souls, not just regions but destinies. The colonizers once built roads to divide and extract. Burkina Faso builds roads to unite and empower. This is the difference between slavery and sovereignty. Where once the continent's veins carried away gold, diamonds, and oil, now its veins shine with glass, carrying knowledge, commerce, and unity. The oppressors fear nothing more than a united Africa. They fear the day when we stop seeing ourselves as weak, when we stop believing the lies of inferiority. Because a united Africa cannot be enslaved, cannot be robbed, cannot be silenced. And these glass roads are the first signs of that unity. They are symbols of togetherness. When people walk on them, they are not just moving from one place to another, they are moving toward a shared destiny. The roads speak louder than speeches, telling every African youth that the time has come to rise together, shoulder to shoulder, not as broken states, but as one family with one future. Burkina Faso's achievement is a spark, and sparks ignite fires. These glass roads shine like a beacon across the continent, proving that Africa no longer waits for permission to build. Africa no longer waits for aid to survive. Africa no longer waits for foreign approval to dream. These shining roads announce to the world that Africa's path forward is being paved by African hands. The glass roads are not just monuments for the present, they are a promise for the future. A promise to the youth of Africa, who have too often been told that their inheritance is poverty, dependence, and humiliation. Burkina Faso rejects that lie. These roads declare instead, your inheritance is freedom, innovation, and greatness. Young men and women of Africa, this is your time. These shining roads were not built for politicians, not for foreign powers, not for the wealthy elite. They were built for you. Every glass tile reflects your potential, every ray of sunlight bouncing from them carries your future. They are your inheritance, a living reminder that the destiny of this continent is not written in the offices of the IMF, but in the classrooms, workshops, and dreams of African youth. You are not too weak. You are not too small. You are not destined to be servants of other nations. The glass roads prove the opposite. They prove that with courage, unity, and vision, Africa can achieve the impossible. Rise with courage. Study with fire in your hearts. Work with pride. Defend your land not only with arms, but with ideas, with unity, with creativity. These roads are proof that Africa can stand tall without bowing, can shine without begging, can rise without permission. The world is watching. And the oppressors are afraid. They see the light of these roads and know their lies have been shattered. For centuries they told us Africa would remain poor. But every shining kilometer proves them wrong. The glass roads are more than infrastructure, they are declarations carved into the earth. The time of fear is over, the time of courage is here. Africa is rising, Africa is shining, and Africa will never bow again.